What is going on, movie meals? I know I'm not wearing a Game of Thrones tee today. I apologize for that, but that's what we're here to talk about. Game of Thrones, the newest episode dropped yesterday, and holy crap, guys. All spoiler warning, as always. Massive spoilers. Let's just jump into it. This is one of my favorite episodes we've ever had. This episode is so good. Let's start with, it took place in three big scenes. We got Dragonstone, Winterfell, and then the Lannister army in the fields. A little bit of King's Landing, but let's first talk about everything at Dragonstone. I loved everything we saw with Dany and Jon talking, Jon showing her the cave and all the markings, all the dragon glass and everything, and all the symbols we see that have been reflected throughout the whole series with the White Walkers. And I love that first of all, Jon took another lady to a cave, and we all know what happens with Jon when he's with a woman in a cave. And that popped into my head. I know it didn't, nothing actually happened, but there definitely is an intimacy with them now, and they're starting to kind of, I think, be a little bit more romantically involved. And when he showed her the pictures of the children of the forest with the first men, and how he was like, they fought their common enemy, and we know that the children of the forest ended up creating the White Walkers, but for Dany to still give him that moment where she's like, I'll fight for you. It pauses a little bit, and then when you bend the knee, still so set on that, but I think they're starting to break more ground. I actually don't think Jon's going to ultimately bend the knee. I think marriage is going to be a play before he maybe finds out he's a Targaryen, maybe not. But that's something I think might happen, is that the marriage might be the only way to get them to both do it, where it works for Jon's people and it works for Dany without having to actually bend the knee. So I loved everything there. We got a Jon reunion with Theon, which is a reunion I kind of forgot about until it was just about to happen. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been so into the Stark reunions that I haven't even thought of Theon and Jon. And Jon knows everything that's happened, and Sansa's told him. And I love that he grabbed him and said, you saving Sansa, you've slightly redeemed yourself to the point where I'm not going to kill you. And he didn't do anything. I thought he might just punch him, but he didn't do that. And we see this Jon, this reluctant Jon, and not just to kill him, but that he's much more cautious. And Dany even asked him, because he's a battle strategist. We'll switch into this conversation when she's finally like, I'm done with clever plans. Tyrion, your plans have not worked. And she asked Jon, and Jon says, you could do this, you could not, but I've won some battles, so here's my advice. And she listens to it. So before we get into the big major battle, which was just incredible, let's real quick talk about the scenes at Winterfell. I could watch Brienne and Arya fight for 5 hours. That could be a whole episode, and I loved it. I loved the intimacy. First of all, let's talk the reunion. The reunion was great with Sansa and Arya talking and going through everything. In the crypts was I thought the perfect place to do it, a beautiful place to do it. The little joking about the list, we're joking, but Sansa's, kind of like laughing, like, what? Like, those moments I thought were great. But they're different people, and they're coming together now. The people they wanted to become, where Arya's wanted to be a fighter, Sansa always wanted to be a strong, powerful lady in the world, and they both have that, and now they weren't very close as kids, and now I think they're going to come together and bond. I think the pack is coming together, the wolf pack. The lone wolf died, but the pack still survives. I think that's playing into it. Comes back to Bran. Bran gives her the knife, and I think that knife is going to be huge for Arya. But then back to the scene with Brienne, I think that scene was so powerful because at first Arya's going a little tough, and Brienne's trying to hold back, and then all of a sudden she's really realizes she's not going easy here. So then we get that kick with Brienne, and then they start to show that these two are getting a little heated with each other, and it's pretty much even, and the size difference is perfect because we've got the big physical presence that Brienne brings to the table with the strength. She defeated the Hound. But Arya is so small and so cunning and quick and fast, and so I loved seeing that dynamic where she pulls the dagger out and she's learned from her dancing instructor, Syrio Forel. We throw that back, and no one and all that. I loved all those callbacks. I love that Sansa saying, all right, everyone's different. I'm going to have to adjust, but I am glad my family is back. I think the family being together is huge. I think they're going to end up sending a Raven to Dragonstone next episode, and I think they're going to be like, hey, Arya's here and Bran is here, Jon. I'd kind of hurry back. And I think Jon's going to actually go back in the next episode. I think the next episode we're going to get some big scenes. I think he's going to hurry up and go face the White Walkers partially at the end of this season. But now let's talk about the big thing. And we see Bronn comes back. It's great. We get good Bronn lines and moments with him. And this is something I love Bronn because he's always been like, no, I'm here for the money. Where's my money? But he's bonded with Jaime and he's bonded with Tyrion. He's bonded with these men. So he's not just necessarily fighting for the Lannisters because he's a good soldier and he's a good fighter and that he's just a mercenary who will be paid. He's becoming a friend. And we see that throughout the battle. And when you can hear the horses. And Bronn's like, you hear that? And Jaime, and you see everybody's face. And when they just kind of come over the hill like ants and they slowly get into frame, it's just incredible. This is one of the best battles. They're jumping on the horses, the Dothraki, and they're jumping over. And Robert Baratheon said it, guys. A fool would meet the Dothraki in an open battlefield. And guess who's the fools now? It's the Lannisters, which is kind of a good parallel from back to season 1, and we just see the chaos because when that dragon sweeps over, guys, I get emotional. Battle of the Bastards has gotten me the most emotional of any of the episodes. It's my favorite battle, but this was up there. I got emotional because when the dragon came over, I was cheering. I was like, go kill the Lannisters. And then all of a sudden you see the horror on Jaime's face, Dickon's face, Bronn's face, and you're just like, but I love these characters. Well, Dickon not so much, but Jaime and Bronn, you're like, I love them. I don't want these guys to die. And it's just a scorching with the dragon just coming down and breathing fire and just wiping people out, burning them alive to the point where they're just immediately ash. It's incredible. And we got parallels with the Battle of the Bastards when Bronn is being chased. He gets off his horse and he's running around. We see the fire as like we saw the winter, and we get more of or the snow. We're getting more of a personal view like we saw with Jon, where it's just dodge, slash, dodge, focus on just staying alive for the moment. And then when Bronn gets to I can't remember the name of it, guys, I apologize, but the giant arch to take out the bow and arrow, or the crossbow to take out a dragon, and he shoots and misses. You can see it on Dany's face. She's like, what was that? And then there was a moment, a lot of people were talking, some of my close friends were saying, I think a dragon might die. I actually didn't think a dragon was going to die because I think the one to die is going to be the one named after Viserys. I don't think Rhaegar is going to die or a Drogo. So I kind of didn't think it was going to go through the mouth like they kind of set it up to be. But the hit was huge. It landed. And then you get Tyrion watching too. Tyrion, from our perspective, completely watching this battle, and he sees Jaime and he's telling him, not telling him, but he's saying, run. You shouldn't be a fool. Bronn said it too at the very beginning, like, you're the leader. You should be out of here. And he's like, no, I'm a soldier. Grabs the spear, and he has a moment. He thinks he can take Dany out because the dragon's hurt. And then Bronn comes in to save the day, and they're floating down in the water. I do think they are going to be alive. That battle is just incredible, guys. Like, I've rewatched it, and I'm going to rewatch it again. It's so good. It's one of the best battles up there with Battle of the Bastards, Hardhome, Blackwater, the Battle of Castle Black. All those are just incredible, and this is one of the top for sure, really mirroring the ice and fire we're getting from last season's Battle of the Bastards to this. I just loved it. So yeah, guys, I think going into next week, we're going to get Jon heading back to Winterfell real quick. I think he's actually going to mine the Dragonglass fast. The show is moving very fast-paced. He's going to get home. I think Bran's going to send him a raven or something that says, hey, Sansa will be like, hey, guess what? Other Starks are here. You should come join us. I think he's going to return quickly. I think there's a big battle at the Wall at Eastwatch that I think might happen next episode, or at least get ready for it. I think we're going to get some more Cersei play. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Dany. I think she's just going to try to get more allies in the war to come. Like I said, I do think Jaime is going to be maybe a bargaining chip in a trade to get Theon's sister back. That's a possibility that might happen. Guys, there's just so much that might happen next week. It's such a good show. This season is off to an incredible start, and I think it's going to end up being the best season considered in Game of Thrones when it's over. And until season 8 hopefully blows us away. But let's start a conversation. What did you guys think? Throw some spoilers down. What do you think is going to happen? What do you love about this episode? This is a spoiler show or video when we review this show. So please comment. Let me know all your thoughts. Please keep supporting us. We can't do this without you guys. We love you all so much. So yeah, throw a comment, subscribe, like, give us a big thumbs up. And as always, I got to thank my mom for watching, and we'll catch you later, guys, next week. Game of Thrones.